This was actually supposed to be an email about how I landed in diversity, equity and inclusion, but it's actually ended up being about transitions. I hope you've had a great week. Here on the east coast of England, the weather has been superb. So much so, I've even peeled my thermals off to reveal my pasty white underlayers. I've had such a busy, productive and enjoyable week. It's been one where I've had to wear a number of different hats, not just changing them each day, but often also within the days themselves, which is always a bit of a challenge. To be frank, I've been feeling a little more tired than usual and have spent some time reflecting on this. I honestly think it has something to do with not having enough transition time between the roles that I'm currently playing. It's made me very aware of the transitions that we expect our young learners to go through, often without a second thought about how this may be impacting on their emotional and internal lives. At this time of the school year, I always think deeply about those youngsters about to leave primary school and enter the secondary phase of their learning. As a music specialist, teaching children from the age of 3 through to 11, this was always a bittersweet moment for me. Building our relationships as the children grew and developed over those years was always a privilege, and having nurtured our interactions over those many years, I found saying goodbye to them to be an emotional and bittersweet moment. I'm not sure that other members of staff ever really appreciated the bond that developed between the specialist teachers in the school, such as music, PE, EAL and SEND departments, and the children, and often their parents too, given the many years in which we interacted with those children and their families during our teaching and their learning. Transitions are tough at any and every stage of life, and if we don't pay them enough attention, they are likely to contribute to feelings of emotional instability and stress. And that's even at the adult stage of development, where we can, to a certain extent, rationalise what is going on. If we now take that concept and apply it to the earliest years of formal learning, we might be able to grasp the enormity that transitional experiences provide to our youngest children. In an article about transition published by Birth to 5 Matters, Anne O'Connor states, "Transitions carry a big responsibility for early years practitioners. However, if our approach to transition is firmly rooted throughout our practice, rather than something we worry about just before and after change occurs, then we're more likely to be raising emotionally intelligent children who make strong attachments, are resilient and resourceful when faced with change, and are able to take risks and embrace new experiences." Well, you might now be wondering where I'm going with this, but it's actually quite simple. Within our professional or even personal practice, how often do we acknowledge where the children's transition points are along the continuum? And even if we do acknowledge them, do we, in all honesty, prepare for them fully? This might seem like a step too far, given everything else we have to think about. But actually, here at Musicbuds, we do pay attention to this important aspect. That's why, for every song we compose, we accompany it with a visual song card. This is a visual representation of the song itself, so that, when displayed as part of a whole music session on a board perhaps, the children can see the order of the session for themselves, what's just been and what comes next. Children need to become as familiar as possible with their routines and settings. They need a degree of predictability, and they need to feel they have some control over their interactions and destiny. As adults, we can appreciate that a top-down approach isn't the ideal way to buy our cooperation, and it's no different with children. We want to afford the children as much respect and autonomy as they are able to accommodate at any particular time. By doing so, we create confident and empowered youngsters who are likely to hold us to account at some point in the future. Are you paying enough attention to the transitions in your life at the moment? Even noticing them would be a start. Wishing you a consciously transitional week, and very many thanks for watching.